Nobody saw this coming. Not the courtroom, not the fans, and most definitely not Chrisean Rock herself. Because a judge's decision just minutes ago sent shockwaves across the nation, placing Baby Jr, her pride, and her entire world in foster care. The courtroom went silent. Cameras were prohibited. But insiders claim that the tension was so high that it felt like the air had been torn out of the room. Then Chrisean got up, started to cry, hands shaking, whispers resonating. From the gallery, and before the judge could finish speaking, she passed out. Officers screamed, hurried forward. Her lawyer froze. The judge ordered the room cleared, and outside there was chaos, paparazzi, protesters, and fans chanting. The system had spoken, and the backlash was immediate. But what actually transpired behind closed courtroom doors? What was the last piece of evidence that made the judge take this extreme step? And who is secretly celebrating this verdict behind the scenes? This isn't just a custody case anymore, it's war. And Chrisean isn't going down without exposing everyone involved so that everyone involved can understand how we got here. Taken away by the state. You have to go back in time to see the chaos, because this wasn't a decision that happened overnight. It began with the Instagram lives, the screaming, the crying, the fights, and Baby Jr, who was barely a year old, caught in the middle of it all. A baby born into a world of flashing lights, court dates, and public outbursts. Fans recall the early moments when Chrisean proudly showed off her son, cradling him and repeating, "I got him, he mine, he's safe." However, behind the scenes, things were getting out of control. The CPS reports began quietly, followed by whispers from worried neighbors. Then came the motel incident, where authorities were rushed to a remote roadside motel after receiving anonymous tips about loud noises, unsafe surroundings, and emotional instability. There was no security, no team, and no support. Just a mother who was exhausted, obviously ill, and escorted out by police. CPS took the baby in for observation. At first, it seemed like it would go away, but Chrisean posted a tearful video claiming it was all a misunderstanding and that she was simply overwhelmed by the system's arrival. "I don't hate my son's baby mama, but that baby ain't safe. Not until somebody steps in." That single line changed everything, said Blueface's mother Kisa in a formal statement submitted to the court, supported by screenshots and Tims. Behind the scenes, CPS wasn't letting this one slide, even though celebrities like Summer Walker and Cardi B reposted messages of support. For 3 days straight, Free Chrisean trended because of who she was and what she did. They didn't anticipate that Carissa, who had been at odds with Chrisean publicly for months, would start the emergency custody hearing. The court proceeded quickly. Within 48 hours, Chrisean received papers. She had to appear, and the fate of Baby Jr would be decided in public. The hearing was closed to cameras, but insiders have leaked almost every detail. The courtroom was packed, and Chrisean entered in tears with a picture of her son. She pleaded with the judge to give her another chance, promising parenting classes, therapy, and anything else, but the state arrived armed with screenshots of live footage and police reports. The final nail in the coffin was a recorded phone conversation between Chrisean and an unidentified friend in which she stated, "Sometimes I feel like leaving just driving, just me. I love him, but I can't breathe anymore." The secret video shows Chrisean screaming into the hallway while Baby Jr cries behind a closed door, according to motel staff. That sentence ruined everything. The judge saw it as a plea for assistance and a warning sign. Chrisean attempted to clarify that she was simply expressing that every mother experiences overwhelm occasionally and that she would never desert her son, but the court understood it as emotional instability. The judge remained unmoved and then made the decision that Baby Jr would be placed in emergency foster care. Not with Blueface's family, not with her relatives, okay with strangers until a longer-term plan could be decided. Chrisean stood up, but her mouth opened without making a sound, and she fell to the ground before anyone could catch her. Now that everyone is watching, nobody can agree on what should happen next. Is this justice or punishment? Is Chrissy in danger? Is a mother under siege? Who is actually pulling strings behind the scenes because someone wanted this to happen? You haven't heard what's going to happen next. The sound of Chrisean's body hitting the courtroom floor reverberated, louder than any gavel, and security hurried forward. Her lawyer stood motionless, and one bailiff approached her, uncertain whether to help or hold her back. She wasn't screaming yet, but when she arrived, everything broke loose. Her cries weren't gentle sobs. Rather, they were wails, and the walls shook with a guttural sound that comes from a soul torn in two. The judge demanded an order in the courtroom, but nobody moved. People stared, some sobbed, and even a clerk in the corner reportedly had to security pulled Chrisean back before she could approach Carissa, but the damage was done outside. Within minutes, live streams from protesters standing on the courthouse steps went viral. The crowd was already growing signs that read, "Let mothers heal and justice for Junior." She then closed her eyes with Carissa Blueface's mother, who was sitting stone-faced in the gallery. That's when the screaming turned to rage. While the public was expressing sympathy, however, something worse was taking place behind the scenes as a result of Justice Chrisean's collapse in court. A mysterious email with an unlisted video link was sent to several bloggers and gossip pages from an anonymous address called truth@gorewatch.org, with the subject line, "You missed what really happened at that motel." The video, which was a shaky security camera feed from the corridor of the isolated motel where Chrisean and Baby Jr were discovered, was unique because it showed a shadowy person near her room at 2:36 a.m. The figure, wearing all black and beige, with a hat pulled down, knocks Chrisean, opens the door just a little, and then they force their way inside. Then, there is a scuffle, yelling, and the sound of a phone hitting the floor, and at 2:58 a.m., the stranger quickly leaves, head down, and vanishes. The footage had never been shown in court before, but fans went into full-fledged investigation mode. Wait, did someone set her up? Who is that in the hallway? This alters everything. Twitter detectives improved the footage, and some people say they saw a tattoo on the figure's forearm. A voicemail was recovered from Chrisean's cloud account, and her voice was heard whispering frantically, "I think someone's watching the room. I hear people outside the door. I can't sleep." She sent it to a friend just hours before CPS arrived, and now the timeline didn't make sense. Why did CP arrive within 15 minutes of that voicemail? Blueface's younger cousin recently posted a story mocking Chrisean with the caption, "Deadbeat. Drama always finds its way back." The person who sent the video has since denied that it affected their decision, saying they were unaware of its existence during the hearing. However, the public is now calling for a new trial, an investigation, and a complete reopening of the case because what was once depicted as a reckless mother unraveling is now more and more like a mother being pushed to the brink by forces that no one fully understands. Chrisean is still silent, off social media, still under court supervision, and still not permitted to be near her son. But her silence isn't a sign of weakness because there was a new post on, "If the courtroom collapse," shocked the world and the leaked hotel footage set it on fire. Then what happened next burned everything to the ground, because just as fan theories exploded and the number Chrisean started trending globally, a mysterious clip appeared on TikTok from an unexpected source. A woman who claimed to be a former motel receptionist. She didn't disclose her identity or speak. Instead, she just uploaded a 19-second security video, showed the same unidentified person from the leaked hallway footage, but this time they weren't just skulking. They were giving something to a man wearing a navy jacket with a police patch. Yes, the figure gave the baby bag to the man, who nodded before leaving. The cop then entered Chrisean's room without a warrant, without knocking or a backup. The comments went crazy. Was this a planned raid that wasn't just CPS? She was being watched, played, and framed. However, the final email she posted was a screen-recorded email. The emails purportedly warned CPS that a suspicious man had been stalking Chrisean's room 2 days prior to the court hearing. The subject line of the emails unmarked officer activity at Motel 6 involving a mother and infant. She did not respond or follow up, and now she has gone silent, deleted her account, and disappeared. Suddenly, the timeline became fragmented, with fans charting every single incident that occurred in the 48 hours before the CPS raid. Chrisean made a joke call to Blueface's former manager, but he never returned it. She sent a direct message to her sister saying, "If something happens, to me, know who did it," and an unanswered FaceTime call. To her best friend, Dot was chilling at precisely 2:39 a.m., 3 minutes after the mystery figure entered her room. Meanwhile, Chrisean was doing the same thing, and last night at 9:03 p.m., she went live. Her eyes were swollen, her voice was steady, and there was a quiet hotel room behind her. She said one sentence that sent shockwaves. "They're not trying to protect Baby Jr., they're trying to erase me." She talked about threats and how people in her circle were being paid off, but she didn't name anyone. They knew I was alone. They knew I was exhausted, and they waited until I broke before they attacked. Then she revealed the shocking information. I never gave them my location. Someone tracked me down on my phone. I know who gave them access. Her voice cracked, but she continued. Someone close to me, someone I trusted, told them everything. That person leaked my voicemail. That person recorded me without my knowledge. That person paused, looked down, and tears welled up. That person was in the courtroom when they took my son Boom. And that one line completely changed the game. Fans immediately began to narrow down who was there. Chrisean. A former friend who had unfollowed her on Instagram made the obvious choice, but it was too obvious. Dion, Blueface's cousin, was the name that appeared most frequently. Why? Because minutes before Sishin's livestream concluded, Dion shared a story that said, "Truth always hits harder when it's televised." He erased it in a matter of seconds, but not before fans took a screenshot, zoomed in, and saw a crazy tattoo on his wrist. The internet exploded. He's the mole, he set her up. But there was still more twist. A private message sent from a burner account. The decision to remove Baby Jr wasn't just based on her mental state. There was something else. Something found in the baby bag. Something we're not supposed to talk about. The blog refused to say what it was, but now the speculation is running wild. What was planted in that baby bag, drugs, documents, or something meant to make Chrisean look unfit in front of a judge. And if that's true, if that evidence was faked, lawsuits could be filed, careers could be destroyed, and baby Chrisean's last words on the live stream were, "I've been knocked down, but now I'm up and I'm coming for everybody who helped them take my son." Junior is still in foster care and is still waiting to see the only mother he has ever known. The internet has never been this divided since the Will Smith slap. On one side, a mother has been betrayed and blindsided, and on the other, the state system is holding firm, claiming it acted to protect a child. However, this time, the battleground isn't just social media. TMZ ran the headline, "Setup or breakdown CPS insider suggests case could fall apart," and YouTubers posted reaction videos titled "Exploding the Baby Jr Plot, the conspiracy behind the courtroom collapse." However, it wasn't just fans anymore. Celebrities were now taking sides. Cardi B tweeted, "Being a mom don't come with a manual, y'all too quick to forget." J. Cole shared 2 Instagram stories, saying, "I see manipulation. I see silence where there should have been protection. I see pain being weaponized." Taraji P. Henson commented on a viral video saying, "This ain't just about custody. This is trauma being exploited." The Game simply tweeted, "Sometimes we got to let the courts work, even when they crooked." Black China, who has her own history with custody battles, said, "I've been Chrisean and let me tell you the system ain't built for us." However, some people remained cautious. Then came the shakeup in the industry. A well-known blog shared screenshots of a private group chat between PR managers representing several reality stars, including those in the love and hip-hop in Zeus Network circles. One line in particular stood out, "If the Vegas tapes drop, we'll all have to pivot." This isn't a PR nightmare, it's a damn firestorm. Wait, Vegas tapes? No one understood what that meant until a second message leaked. She recorded everything, and fans lost it. Was Chrisean secretly recording her motel experience? Were there private voice memos, texts, or unreleased footage? Then came the protests. By noon the following day, almost 200 people had gathered outside the CPS office handling Chrisean's case. Signs read, "Let mothers heal, not collapse. Stop weaponizing mental health. CPS equals corrupt parent snatchers." Videos of protesters chanting, "Bring Baby Jr home," had received 3 million views in 6 hours. As soon as Blueface's sister appeared, she took the microphone and said, "My brother failed her. Our family failed her. That baby deserves better, and so does Chrisean." It was the first public family statement in favor of her, and it destroyed any sense of unity on Blueface's side. Now that the world is waiting for the next hearing, lawyers are rushing, fans are getting ready to set up camp outside the courthouse, and rumors have it that Chrisean's legal team intends to subpoena several people for perjury, obstruction, and conspiracy. She's not just fighting for custody, she's fighting to expose a machine that tried to. The public has chosen a side dot, so she is no longer alone. In 5 days, when the courtroom door reopens, the person entering might not be a grieving mother. Rather, it might be a woman who is prepared to destroy the entire system. 5 days is all that was needed to gather the evidence, save social media, and rebuild the spirit of a mother who watched the system take her child, but the world and the whispers continued to spin. Then, just one night before the next hearing, a burner account released the video that completely changed the course of events. Presumably from a CPS body cam worn during the motel recovery, the footage showed Baby Jr unharmed, smiling, reaching for his mother, not crying, not in danger, not neglected Chrisean, but emotionally shaken, responsive, calm, and holding him close. The video also captured audio that never made it to court. The CPS worker said, "We got the call, need to verify your name and see the child. Say he's fine, please don't do this right now." Afterward, there was a pause, and the CPS worker said, "Ma'am, we're going to need to take him for a 72-hour wellness hold. Don't take him from me, Chrisean, I'll accompany you. You don't have to." The final twist came at precisely midnight when Chrisean's lawyer posted a 30-second teaser to her verified Instagram account. The video showed a dark screen with white text, one sentence at a time. "We have the timestamps. We know who lied. We know who took the baby bag, and we're filing charges." You sparked fury because it meant that CPS had another option and they didn't take it. They didn't let her accompany her child, so they separated them anyway. Fans were furious, so they decided to use force. This wasn't about safety either. As if that weren't enough, a separate fake leak surfaced minutes later claiming that Chrisean's team had submitted a 147-page emergency appeal that included cell phone records, GPS logs, voice memos, and a list of 3 names she wants charged with conspiracy to commit custody interference. You guessed it. Number 1 is Carl Isa Yes Blueface's mother. Number 2 is an unidentified CPS supervisor whose signature was missing from the motel warrant. And number 3 is Dion Blueface's cousin. The woman who allegedly sent the initial concern statement that sparked the raid is now being publicly exposed as the mastermind behind the setup. The best part is that she went live just minutes after the names were leaked, and her first words were, "Don't take no baby, but I won't apologize either." She then smirked and ended the stream, leaving no explanation or denial of the chaos. Now, all eyes are on the courthouse, and sources claim that additional security is being brought in. TV crews are flying in for coverage, and major news outlets have finally taken up the story because of what began. When the courtroom doors open, you can bet that the system won't be the only one watching. A custody case has devolved into a full-fledged takedown, with a mother, a fighter, and a woman at its center who they tried to silence, but who now has the truth and the proof. You saw the courtroom collapse, heard the leaked footage, felt every twist, betrayal, and silent scream that was disregarded, and now you know the truth. They didn't just take Baby Jr. They took everything from Chrisean Rock, and they assumed she would remain silent, but she is retaliating with evidence, names, and receipts. That could blow the whole case wide open, so we want to know whose side you support. Is this a mother breaking under pressure, or was she pushed to the brink by people who wanted her gone? Did CPS make a tough decision, or did they become a pawn in a more complex game of manipulation? Leave your thoughts in the comments section and let your voice be heard, because this story isn't just about Chrisean anymore. It's about every mother who has been silenced, every woman who has been judged before being heard, and every child drawn into a conflict they never asked for. If you think the truth is finally coming to light, hit subscribe, because what won't? Just be emotional. It's going to be explosive. Chriseans have the video, the court has the authority, and everyone will be watching. We'll be here when it occurs, and believe me, it's not done yet. It's not done yet.